We are ready to go now. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 187 webinar of our webinar series. And I am Pragya Mishra, Business Executive at RKVY-RAFTAAR Managed CIA. And today our topic is minimum viable product for agri startups. And before beginning to the session, I would like to provide a small introduction of Managed CIA and our Saturday webinar series. Managed CIA is a leading center of excellence in agribusiness incubation, based at the National Institute of Agricultural Extension Management, MANAGE. As one of the India's top agribusiness incubators, we have mentored 847 entrepreneurs and nurtured over 425 startups across diverse agricultural sectors. Our center has equipped startups with vital skills in agriculture and allied sectors, helping agripreneurs to develop their ideas and grow their businesses. The purpose of this open to all webinar series is to expand our reach and impact, connecting with a broader audience of agri entrepreneurs throughout India. Held every Saturday, these webinars cover a wide range of topics and feature speakers from various backgrounds. And today we are delighted to have two esteemed speakers joining us. And we'll start with our first speaker. Neetu, can you introduce?
Thank you, Pragya. A very good morning to Anando. I am Neetu, working as Research Fellow at Manage. So our first speaker, Mr. Shishir Chandra Jona, is the CEO of Navariti Innovation, a company that is dedicated to creating positive social change through innovative solutions. So it specializes in smart farming technologies, offering a range of products focused on precision agriculture, aquaculture, and hydroponics. So their flagship series called Smart with Artificial Intelligence Growth Engine harnesses the power of IoT to revolutionize smart farming and industrial IoT sectors. So these solutions are tailored to address five key areas, namely reduction in inputs, personalized analytics, yield increase, affordability, and sustainability. And about the speaker, he holds a master degree in electrical and electronics engineering from the prestigious IIT Bombay. So with this, I invite Mr. Shishir. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, a very good morning. Good morning, everyone. Also the team at Manage. Thank you for the introduction. I'll just go through the presentation, possibly just 5 to 6 slides, not much more than that. So let me just start. So I hope you can all hear hear me and also see my screen.
So you need to share the screen once again.
Okay, let me just share it.
And good morning, Sonali ma'am. Thank you for joining. After the session,
Very good morning.
sir, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, sir. We can see your screen, sir. Now need to make it full screen mode. Yeah. Good to go.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So I am Sisir. So I am from, I'm representing Navarati Innovation Private Limited. So the solution we have is called Heliot.ai, which is a solar and IoT and AI powered precision farming system. We are targeting the smallholder farmers with this solution. So today I would like to just take a few minutes of your precious time and explain our own roadmap, what we have faced and our journey, and some of the issues, some of the learnings, and some of the challenges we face, and what are the solutions we have discovered along the path, and what is the outcome of this. So this is Heliot. It is a solution that is looking at the problem statement, which is that we have in India and also in a lot of other countries that have similar geographical nature, the smallholder farmers have limited access to accurate information about what is happening in the farm. So whether it is related to the soil conditions, whether it is related to the environment conditions, all those information is lacking or available only in a very limited scope. So if a farmer, typical smallholder farmer, wants to irrigate or control the irrigation in the farm, they have to actually physically go to the farm and do that. So remote access to this information and control and monitoring is not available. As a result of this, a lot of farmers are traveling to remote areas where the farm is located. Sometimes they have to travel, or very often they have to travel in odd hours, either early morning or late evening, when there is no light or there is no light available or sunlight available, the roads are not lighted. So as a result, they are facing a lot of issues. And because of all these hindrances, they also see issues related to overutilization of groundwater, overutilization of pumps and motors. So what are the solutions? The solutions we have today are primarily looking at largeholder farmers. So this is the solution we have. We call it Heliot. It is a smart farming system that measures all the critical parameters that are required to do autonomous irrigation. So it is relatively crop and geolocation agnostic. So you can use it virtually for any crop by changing various parameters. It's extremely easy to use, which is a necessity when you are targeting a smallholder community, a smallholder farming community who may not have all the technical know-how of using a very complicated system. So the system can be complicated, but the user interface has to be very intuitive. So as is a mandatory thing in India, and especially agri-tech product, it has to be cost effective, and it has to be extremely cost effective when you are targeting a small and marginal farming community. And it should be suitable for remote areas because majority of the farming is being done in remote areas where there is no wireless infrastructure or Wi-Fi infrastructure. So how does this translate into a product journey? So some of the focus areas we have noted down over the past few months and years that we have spent in the development. So if you look on the x-axis, you have the time. So you can call it the development time. On the y-axis, you have who are the people who will be involved in that particular development part. So if I am taking a POC, proof of concept, then majority of the solutions will be involving internal team members. So any evaluation testing will be done internally within the team. So some of the learnings we have, some of the things we have noted down. And what we also suggest is when you are at the POC level, take the components that are easily available or the highest quality possible. Now the question may arise, should I choose a lower quality product when I'm going for production? No, that is not the idea here. The idea is when I'm saying best possible product or best possible component, it is do not look at the price initially. That will help you save a lot of time in the development phase. Next, you go to the prototype. Prototype will involve longer development time. You have to again test it internally, but you may want to also expose it to external parties, trusted external parties. These may be advisors, these may be people who you are already associated with some confidentiality agreement. You can expose this product to external parties. You would want to make a preliminary draft of the building materials or bill of materials you are using. You may want to have some knowledge of what is the pricing you are targeting finally. Again, use as much as possible the easily available best quality components. Now, some of these aspects I am talking about may not be relevant for those companies that are into biopesticides, biofertilizers, but I am hoping that the concepts are very similar across the spectrum. So then we go from prototype to MVP. So in MVP, you have a product that is very close to the final product. You are looking at piloting among few farmers or farming community. These may be external to your organization, or this will most often be external to organization, but people who still you have some control over. You will get some feedback from this limited pilot trials, which you will involve your design team in and implement that in the final product. So you have to freeze your bill of materials at the end of your MVP. You should know each and every component that you are using when you go for production. You want to also specify your specifications and features, looking at the feedback you have received, also on the product performance. Again, now you come to final pricing and packaging and enclosures. Packaging is very important when you are using some agri products, perishable products, and enclosures are very important when you are looking at electronics and systems. Then comes the final production, where you need to have all the supply chain in place. So you need to know each component where you are buying from. And if that particular component is not available for whatever reason from that particular supplier, you should have a secondary source for the same component as much as possible. If it is not the same component, at least a compatible or equivalent product. You should have logistics in place. By logistics, I would mean if you are exporting, you would already need, possibly in the MVP phase, you should have import-export licenses. You should make sure you are registered with the customs authority. You are registered with your transport provider, whether it's FedEx or UPS, to take care of all the handling. You should have some kind of after-sales mechanism. You should have a final document about warranty conditions, certificates, compliances. You also need to make some planning on capacity. Suppose your product is very successful. You need to increase the capacity. You cannot start thinking about that once you reach production level. You should have some planning in place. And financial related investment loans as usual. The production phase can take pretty long. It depends on product to product, which sector you are in, what kind of product you are manufacturing. In our case, it can be as much as 1 year or more, because you are looking at an electronic or a technology product. So you get the feedback from various sources, starting from internal to limited, external to external. You take all that feedback, implement that, and that should go into your production. Now, the same product journey, if I can show in terms of images. So this is a typical, product that you may start off when you're starting. You have a breadboard, you have some ready-made microcontroller, ready-made screens. You are just connecting some things, just looking at the viability of the solution to see whether your hardware and software are able to measure what you want to measure. They may not be accurate. They may not be cost effective. They may not look good. They may not be foolproof. But are you at least able to measure what you want to measure? So then you go to the prototype. You make a prototype with ready-made boxes. You fix it in a area that you have control over. So if you have your own laboratory, or if you have a space where you can test this, where your engineer can go and test the device very often or as often as you want, choose that area. Do not choose an area very far away from you, because it will be very difficult to manage. Then you go to MVP. This is a real field trial. You are trying it out in a real field in the environment. So this is in a farm. In our case, we tested this out in a farm around 300-400 kilometers away. We tested it for around a couple of months. We got some feedback. Then you have the final device, which looks along these lines. So we had to change some specifications, some wiring, some features, some size, all that factors we have got out of our MVP stage. So these have been implemented into the production system. So some aspects that are, you don't have to worry too much, but it's always important to pay some common sense focus on this. Certifications and legal requirement. First of all, obviously, it's a common sense sanity check. Am I allowed to sell my product in the market? Some products may not be allowed because you are using ingredients, you are using maybe components that are not allowed. So make sure, first of all, that is allowed. Otherwise, you will be spending 2 years to make a product. You will realize you are not allowed to do that for whatever reason. If you are using any restricted material or hazardous material or some material that requires special consideration either during production or as a waste material during disposal, please make sure you know at least what are the things in place. Also, please make sure there is some kind of idea on when you want to bring the final product into the market. To give an example, I mean, this may not be directly relevant to agriculture, but to give an example, if there is a special reason to make a medicine, for example, you have a coronavirus, you need to make a vaccine. You cannot take 5 years to make a vaccine, even if it is the best vaccine in the world. So you need to have that kind of idea. It may not be relevant for your use case, but it may be relevant because there are a lot of people trying to do something what you are trying to do. So you do not want to be the last one in the market. And sometimes things may change. Government regulations change. There may be import restrictions that may impact your product. So have some kind of sanity check on whether there are something like this that may affect your product. And what are the minimum features and specs when you start your journey? What is the minimum achievable things you want to achieve with your product? And the last two things are very specific to our own learnings. What are the environmental conditions that you want to use or your customer will use the product in? Environmental conditions, electrical conditions, whether it is in outside India, then what are the conditions? United States uses different electricity specifications compared to Europe and India. Are you going to use in rural or urban? Rural, you have to make sure there are a lot of safety checks in place because there are a lot of issues related to power fluctuations in the rural area. Packaging and enclosures. Again, testing conditions. Are you testing during winter and then releasing the product in summer? Don't do that. Take it from our experience. And how long are you going to test it? Make sure at least you test it for, if not months, at least for a few weeks. And also what material you are using in the enclosures and package. So this is the Heliot evolution. It took some time to develop. So all these systems are in place, installed. We took a lot of learnings, knowledge from feedback from customers and other stakeholders before we evolved into what we see today as our current system. So I think I'm almost coming to the end of the presentation and also the time slot. So I'll just say thank you. So this is a typical Heliot smart farming, smart irrigation autonomous system installed in a real farming or real farm of a smallholder farm. Thank you.
Yeah, Thank you so much, Shishir, for a very wonderful and very informative session, I must say, in a short time. You tried to explain about your product journey, that how it is started from the POC or from the ideation stage till now it is in the market. So the very important point that you mentioned about the non-disclosure agreement, yeah, we do also realize it that these some starters while they are applying for the funding round at RKVY-RAFTAAR project to manage, they are not ready to disclose few things. So of course kind of disclosures you should take into the account, that message you given, and how in each stage what are the different stakeholders are involved, like at POC the internal and the external level, how you can grow up from your POC to the MVP stage. So that message is, I think it's perfectly delivered at a different journey while you're showing to the participants and the starters especially, those are at ideation stage. And I want to inform all the participants that the previous 2 3 webinars, if you see, that we were discussing about the problem statement, we discussed about the design thinking, different tools, and now you are coming to the MVP and POC stage, that how we can develop. And next part which you discuss about the Shishir, about the rigor compliances. So in the next week we are going to talk about that topic, that what are the different legal compliances are there. So in a way that this webinar series is planned till 200 webinars. So hope that is going to be helpful to you. So with this, we are thank you to the Shishir, and we are welcoming to our another speaker, Sonali is there. So I request my colleague to introduce Sonali.
Yes, sir. Welcome, ma'am. Today's second speaker we have is Miss Sonali Jha, founder and CEO of Kinomial Technologies Private Limited. She is a versatile professional with experience as computer scientist, entrepreneur, product manager, and technology executive. She has mentored startups at technology incubators to encourage innovation in underserved areas, contributing to India's technical education program, and is a member of NYU's Women in Computing community. Ms. Sonali is also a global leader for Power Her Family, aiming to support 1 million women in India with digital solutions and collective action for economic relief. Her skills include product design, go-to-market strategy, agile methodology, data analytics, and modern technologies like microservices and React. She is committed to improving collaboration and technical excellence in software development teams. With this, I welcome ma'am and hand over the session to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and very good morning to all of you. Before we start talking and presenting my deck, I just want to take a moment to appreciate all the students and the startups who are part of this session, because it is very important, right? It is very important to know about your potential and what kind of agri startup business you are about to start. And your energy, your ideas, and the hard work can really help make things better for farmers and farming companies elsewhere, everywhere. So basically, I'm sure most of you must be having very smart ideas that help farms make more money while also taking care of the environment and being fair to everyone. So your thoughts and involvement in today's session, it plays a very important role, and I'm sure with your ideas, you will make the farming better and better in the near future. And with this, I would like to share my presentation. Uh, just a second. Can you see my screen?
It's coming up, ma'am. Yeah.
It's visible, right? Okay.
Yes.
So basically today we are about to discuss about the minimum viable product, right? How to build the minimum viable product, and what are the components which is relevant in order to do so. So I'm sure, like, if you can see in this circle, right, the problem solving steps. So basically there is a problem which you have already, most of the startups, they identify, and the students, right, just a second. who are having very fantastic ideas. So basically, you have to identify the problem, you have to do the analysis, you have to come up with possible solutions, again do the analysis of those solutions, select the best solution and execute the solution. I'm sure this part you have already done since you are part of the audience is only of Ravi, Raftar, or students are also there?
It's an open platform, ma'am, so anyone will be there. It's
Any,
not
okay,
meant
even
only.
the students, right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And they all are from agri sector, right?
Maximum audience will be from agriculture, ma'am, but this link is open so that
Okay.
maybe you can find the people from the across the country, even from international as well.
Okay, sounds good. So, since the topic is MVP on agri startups, so there are many focus sectors. I try to list down some, and in this, I think every day some or the other people are coming up with very great ideas. I have listed down some focus sectors. Now, in order to build this, right, the current scenario, what we are seeing in the market is like people are coming up with very great idea. They are also scaling up, and over the period of time, there is a loss. The reason is very simple. So, raising money, it's not a big thing. Like you can raise a money. These days there are some restrictions, but people raise money, but over the period of time they fail. It is just because of the simple reason there is a lack of customer centricity. So right from building your idea, like coming to the MVP stage, if your focus will be on the customer centricity, there will be no way your startup will fail. Okay, so that is the biggest challenge, and we will over the in the next slides we will see how we can overcome that. So there are some tools in order to create and analyze the business models. And just I want to mention like building your uh, MVP, right? From identifying problems to future. Just a second. So basically, you have to think about the value proposition. You have to think about the key features, which is very important, right? Like such as crop monitoring, yield production, soil analysis, forecasting, supply chain management, market insights, gaining the user experience, scalability, market validation, go-to-market strategy. So these are some pointers which is very much required in order to create your MVP, and laying the foundation right from lean startup to develop MVP is the best strategy. I would like all of you, whosoever wants to start something of their own, just to work on their lean canvas. It is a very strategic tool used in startup and business planning to quickly and efficiently outline the key components of the business model. So there are 9 parameters around this lean model, which if you will brainstorm along with your core team members, along with your mentors, right? I'm sure your MVP will be very robust and it will be ready to the market, and you can easily commercialize it. So the 9 components which are part of this lean canvas is the problems. So basically, you will identify problems which is on a local level or on a global level. For that particular problem, what is your solution to the market? And then what is the unique value proposition? Basically, what is the ultimate benefit which your customers are getting? Whom you are targeting, right? Who are your customer persona for that? What is the channel? How you are going to reach to your end? Oh, my presentation is not shared.
No, we can see your presentation, ma'am. The
Someone is.
participants are asking for the PPTs. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So, okay,
yeah.
sure. Sorry. So
So
what
just
is the channel like?
I'm
What is the
interrupting you once
path?
again. Just for the information of the participants, we are going to share the PPTs and the speakers' details at the end of the day. So don't worry about that. Yeah, ma'am, please go ahead now.
Sure. So channels, basically, channel is how you are going to reach your end user, right? What is the path to reach your customers? It could be like social media posts. It could be sending cold emails, having your own website, participating in events, trade fairs. So as per the business, there are multiple channels. You have to think properly, like which channel works for you in a best way. Then the key metrics, basically how you are going to measure the performance of your company. So whatever MVP or the prototype you have built, right? You have to think through during your ideation and the MVP stage itself, like how it is performing, right? For that, what you can do is you can take feedback from your end users. You can take feedback from your mentors, from friends and families, right? Because once you will commercialize it, then it will be fairly easy. So if you will identify your key metrics, for example, let's suppose if you are building some app for the farmers, right? So the key metrics would be the number of downloads. The more the number of farmers will download, it means that there is a demand for your particular product, for your particular app, right? Then the unfair advantage. This part is very difficult to articulate upfront, because this is something in which you are directly talking to your competitor. So basically, what is there in your idea, right, which your competitors cannot easily copy? So if I'll give you the example of Google, when they started off during that period, Yahoo, MyExcite, AltaVista, they were the close competitors to Google. And as you all know, Google was started by two Stanford students, right? So for the unfair advantage, what they did was they patented their page rank algorithm. The algorithm which they wrote, they patented it. But every solution is not patentable, right? So for that, you have to think through, like the kind of support which you will be providing. That will be your unfair advantage. So basically, you have to think what is there in your offering which your competitors cannot easily copy. Then the cost structure, basically it is a cost which will incur in order to run your business. And then eventually how you are generating money, okay, that is the revenue. So with this, right, if you will brainstorm, it will help you to make your MVP very robust. And if you will consider all these parameters, right, it you I'm sure there is no need to raise. If you're getting grant, it is very good, but there is no need to raise money during your MVP stage. Obviously, there are some sectors for which there is a money requirement, but majority of you, with considering these parameters, you can successfully go to the MVP stage. So basically, I'll discuss about the three components which is very much needed for any idea or for any startup, right, in order to thrive. So these three components are: first is the value creation. Basically, how do you generate value in terms of products and services? Second is the value delivery. How do you deliver your value to intended customers? Then third is the value appropriation. How does the business get back in terms of profit X? Okay, so these are the three components which you need to consider for your MVP. So the nine parameters which we discussed just now, I will mention. Like for example, if you see the yellow color, right? Yellow color is the value creation. Value creation is what? It is how do you generate value in terms of product and services. Basically, who all will be your key partners, what kind of key activities you will be doing, right? And then what are the key resources whom you will be utilizing. So these are the components for the value creation. Okay. Then comes the value delivery. Basically, value delivery is how do you deliver your value to intended customer. Okay, so basically customers will get the benefit out of your offering, right? So that is called the value proposition. So if I will just give you some examples about the value creation, let's go back to the value creation part. Key partners, right? So key partners could be, let's suppose you don't have your in-house technology team, right? So you can outsource your tech management part. Again, depending, I'm not saying it depends upon business to business. So you have to take proper decision on that. Let's suppose if you are a startup, you don't want to have your own legal team, right? Because there is a cost involved in all the in setting up the teams, right? So for the legal, what you can do is you can become partner to some legal company whom on a need basis you can use their services and pay them the service charge. Okay, so there is no need for having the legal team in your company. So they are the value creators. So outsourcing the legal part, outsourcing yes, like the tech part, outsourcing the logistic part. Even Amazon, when they started, right? The key partners were the logistics company because they don't want to build their own courier service. So they partnered with the logistics company. So basically, value creation for this, you have to think through who all would be the value partners. Similarly, what kind of key activities you will be doing, right? In your case, for example, in technology companies, the key activities is the software development. In, day out, all their employees do the software development part, right? Toyota, if we will consider example of Toyota, they do the manufacturing part, right? In your case, like let's suppose in agri startups, the key activities will be solving the problems of the farmers, right? In many areas. And for that, key resources, basically, you will be needing some laborers, you will be needing some employees, you will be needing some intellectual property. So these are the key resources. I'm telling you very broadly. Just think through all these parameters because these are very important in order to run a very successful business. Now comes the value delivery. Basically, value delivery, how do you deliver the value to your intended customers? So value proposition. Value proposition is what? Basically, the ultimate benefit your customers will get from for your products and the services. For example, if I will take the example of Apple, right? Apple is known for its design, very simple designs. Zomato is known for its service, right? A Canva tool, most of you must have used it, right? It is known for its novelty. FedEx is very like it is known for the reliability, right? Similarly, you have to think what kind of benefit you are providing to your end users and what kind of benefits they are getting. Okay, then the customer relationship, that is also part of the value delivery and it plays a very important role. Then only your customers will come back to you again and again. Okay, so you have to build some trust factor, loyalty. For that, you can take continuous feedback from your customers, right? So again, it depends upon business to business. Then channels. So as I mentioned, channel is nothing but the path to customers. It could be in the form of social media. You can directly sell to customers via your website. It could be company-owned, franchisee, brand stores. Okay, so I'm just highlighting some of the examples. Again, as per your business, you can think through your own means of channel. Then the customer segments, right? Customer segments could be business to business to customer, B2G. It varies. And for each persona, each customer persona, you have to think through if it is B2C, then your key partners, key activities, key resources, all this 9 parameters which we are discussing, it will be different, right? Versus B2B. Okay, now value appropriation. Value appropriation is what? It is like how does the business get back in terms of profit X? So basically there are two components for that. One is the cost structure. Here you need to mention all the costs which your company is incurring, right? In order to run your day-to-day business. It could be in the form of fixed cost. It could be in the form of the variable cost. And then the revenue stream, right? How you're going to generate money. So basically, it could be subscription, licensing, ad revenues, paper use, then direct sale. So again, business to business, it will differ. So this is part of the value appropriation. Okay, this I will just skip it because we have just now discussed about it. And I just want to mention when you will be building your MVP thing, just try to work on your both the canvas lean and the business canvas. There is only difference in the 4 parameters, and the main difference between both the canvas lie in the target audience, the level of detail, and the stage of business development. Okay, so basically the lean canvas is tailored for the startups who are in the ideation stage with a focus on quick iteration, agile and adoption, and the problem solution field. While the business model canvas is a broader tool, it is mainly for the early revenue companies. And this helps to build this tool help in building the strategic planning and analysis in both startups and the established business context. So I would encourage you to just think through all the parameters. This will help you to make your MVP very clear, and you will have more clarity if you will brainstorm this along with your team members, core team members, or from your mentors, or from any of your friends and families. I just want to show you one example. All of you know Google, right? So can you see this is their lean canvas before rolling out their MVP product, right? So what they identified was like that search result is not relevant. It is very hard to find what you are looking for, and their competitors, the existing alternatives for that was the Yahoo, AltaVista. Those were the very big companies during 1990s, right? As a solution, what they realized was they will develop a technology that would allow users to search and find relevant content. Benefit, what they said was like it will be a fast search during, because like early 1990s when Yahoo was very popular, like it is not sure like whatever you are searching for you will get it in your first page. You have to go up to 10th page, 30th page, right? So what benefit they were providing was the fast search, and you can truly find what you are looking for. That was the value proposition that they mentioned to their customers, to their users basically. And unfair advantage, so unfair advantage, so Google, they like in US it is very easy to patent the software. For that they wrote one algorithm, page rank algorithm. It is very well known algorithm, and they patented it. So that was the unfair advantage. So like as I mentioned, unfair advantage is something which your competitors cannot easily copy, and you have to think through, because if you are running your business, right, there should be some very strong unfair advantage so that you will keep on getting new set of customers and you can retain your existing customers, right? And it is not necessary like every like you have to patent it. There are many other forms of unfair advantage which you can leverage, and which will help you in order to stay in the market and retain your customers. Okay. So for customer segments, they said like all web users, whosoever wants to search, whosoever are having the internet, they are their customer segment. Okay. Key metrics, they said the number of search requests. The more the number of search requests, it means that there is a demand. I'm showing you from this slide from that during their ideation time. So can you see how simple it was? And now like you all know Google, right? How big is this firm? So key metrics, they said like more the number of requests. So as I in the app, I mentioned more the number of downloads, right? Or if you are having something in the supply chain, right? More the number of farmers requesting or there is a demand. So that way you can analyze like there is a demand, and that will be your solid key metrics, right? So basically key metrics is the how you're going to measure the performance of your company. And channels, they said like user, because they wanted to go word of mouth. So that was their very clear path to customers. So let's suppose if I like the Google search, I will tell my friend like, why don't you try this? So it was totally user references. It was word of mouth. cost structure, since they were the tech company, hosting and the development was the cost structure, and the revenue stream, coming to revenue stream, it is investment and the advertising revenue. Still, we are not paying for the Google search, right? They are generating money from other sources. Advertisement is one of the main source of revenue for Google. So can you see how simple it is? This is before the MVP stage, right? So similarly, you have to think through your idea and you have to sit down with your team members and have a clarity on it. This will really help you to make your MVP very, very solid. How much time do we have?
Can another 2 minutes, madam?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, I just want to show this, this journey, especially for the startups, right? Being an entrepreneur is like a man riding a lion. People think like this guy is brave, and he's thinking, how the hell did I get on a lion, and how do I keep from getting eaten? So there are so many challenges, right? In this journey, you have to overcome all the challenges. And if you are persistent, if you are dedicated, you will easily overcome these challenges and you will be able to build a successful company after your MVP stage. There are some key performance indicator which is very important in order to measure the performance of the company. And along with this, I would like to mention even during your MVP stage, right? Digital marketing plays a very important role and it is a game changer. It helps you for the global reach, cost effect, and it is very cost effective. You can increase the engagement. You can plan for the targeted advertisement. You can this is very agile and very easily people adapt also, and you will be able to know about your competitive edge. So right from the your ideation stage, leverage all the social media and take insights from your customers and users, take the feedback. It could be very depressing also, but it's absolutely fine. Being a founder, you have to be very shameless also. So take that feedback in a positive way and try to improvise on your work. So this is a very good source where you can test out your MVP products also. Okay, so with this, I would like to say launch small experiments, prototype rapidly and inexpensively, try to tolerate the failures and learn from your mistakes. And on top of that, increase your investment after testing and learning. There is no need to invest right from the beginning. Okay, you just do it after testing and learning. And you need to validate your model assumptions with the customers until you get it correct. Okay, so with this, I would like to say thank you. I hope this session is useful.
Yeah, very useful, ma'am, I must say. Uh, there are few takeaways I noted down from your session as well. And definitely participants also have some questions related to your session. So I request to all the participants to put your questions in the chat box if you have to ask questions to the speakers so that we will take up. So the forum is now open for the question and answer session. But before that, I would say, ma'am, very rightly you mentioned that for each and every startup's initial days, mentoring support is really important. And I think not only the mentors, but incubators also can play a very crucial role while if you are in ideation stage to give the very inputs that to maybe developing your business model, or maybe you required some sort of labs, maybe 3D printers, designing for that point of view, and maybe you require the seed funding as also the pre-seed funding. So all these things manage other incubators also are trying to help you to nurture your ideas into the reality, and that's the intention to know what are the things you can take up from the session. That's why this today's webinar was organized. And ma'am, you were talked about the lean canvas basically for the ideation startups and the business model canvas BMC for the broader perspective. I think each and every startup should work on that part So these your insights are really going to help to today's participants, and it's a really wonderful session, and to know learn more about back to the basics. I feel like that being in with the incubator since a few last years. So yeah, quickly we're going to take a few questions, and I have noted few questions also from my end for the both the speakers. I can see one of the participants, Sharda, also has raised her hand to ask the question, but let me quickly go to the one question from my end to the both the speakers. So maybe Shishir, maybe Sonali, you can take up. Uh, what happens actually with startups when they are trying to develop their MVP? They are struggling to disclose first of all their ideas, and the second thing, they don't know from where to start. So as you both are already has that experience, you are coming from that phase. So what could be your suggestions for the startups who are at very early stage, or maybe the ideation stage, or maybe you can share your personal experience while you are at that phase.
So,
Okay.
from my experience, I mean, what you rightly pointed out, I mean, the importance of NDA, right? So, whenever you share, I mean, every startup or every innovator, when they start, every one of us, we feel we have the best idea in the world, right? It may or it may not be. It may have impact, or maybe the customer doesn't even realize it. But at the same time, it is very important to safeguard your idea. So NDA is one step in that direction, like you mentioned. So what I would always say is first, um, share your idea and share your maybe your prototype or whatever you are doing with close confidence. Preferably people who are in that area where you are looking to market your products. So people who have some agriculture experience in this case, people who you have an association with, so that you can share and get their valuable input before you try and actually release it to the outside world.
Yeah, very true, Shishir, that you go and talk with the people, and of course, you always have the non-disclosure agreement in place to safeguard your idea. So this is one takeaway. Sonali ma'am, you want to add something? Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, many people are having great ideas. Execution is very important. So execution plays very important role. And if your execution is in a proper way, right, nobody can beat you. So don't fear like somebody will steal your idea. I'm sure there must be some fear for the resource constraint, because during the startup journey, right, there are very few resources. So that is the obvious fear of the resource constraint, fear of scaling, fear of the competitors, fear of getting the negative feedbacks. But these are all part and parcel. If you are very determined to take your business to another level, this will come to your way. But just you have to overcome and just focus on your development. You focus on your launch of the application, focus on the growth of your company. That so idea is zero, right? Execution is very important. So people will come up with an idea, and if they will execute it well, they will surpass you. So just focus on the execution part.
Yeah, very true and a very great message, ma'am, that action speaks louder. So yeah, better you focus on the execution part of your ideas rather than focusing and keeping your ideas with you. And Shishir also mentioned very correctly, and your point also coming to the same point, that everyone loves his idea. It's like your baby, but always go and don't fear to take the feedback from the market if you are really willing to see your product success. So this is very important message from this point. Quickly, I'll go to the one more question, that any startups at ideation stage, they don't know that in what way they can develop their MVP. So what would be your suggestion? Directly they can start spending some your own funding bootstrap, or they should approach to the incubators, or what exactly the way that in a real time they can actually execute, or in a small time they can execute their MVP stage? What would be your suggestion to the
So
participants?
I would
Yeah.
like to highlight like our Indian ecosystem. It's now very robust and it is growing. So during your like ideation stage only, most of you must be part of the RABI, right? So they see the potential of the ideas in the ideation stage itself, and then they groom like from their mentoring, classroom sessions, and also with the grant. There is no harm in taking a grant, so you should always reach out to incubators. Now I think there are so many incubators in every focus sector, so as per your focus sector you should definitely reach out to like incubators which is in your state, or like wherever you want to go, right? Because here you will get a market linkage, here you will get a very good like network, right? Because there are you will get access to the cohort members who have successfully started the business previous to you, right? So it is always it is a very good action point to get associated with some incubators. If you want to start by your own also, there is no harm. You can take feedback from your friends and families, from your mentors, and then you can reach out during after a certain stage you can reach out to any of the incubators and accelerators. Or if you think like your idea is very relevant for the VC, and VC can invest it, there also you can reach out. So there are multiple avenues, try to leverage, and I think the best approach is to get associated with some leading incubators and accelerators who will help you in your journey and provide you some market linkage, grant money. So I think this should be your action step.
Yeah, very true, ma'am. Of course, so there is always way that you can do everything yourself. But if you want to get successful, I think incubators are really going to help you. And yeah, like managers also mainly focusing on the agri startups. And for that, we do also have different programs. So be there for some announcement, very interesting announcements are there at the end. But before that, we'll go to the next question, which is coming from the VJC. Maybe Shishir, you can take up this question that considering the average low income in the agriculture, it is really difficult to to maintain to cost effectiveness of the product to reach the large customers. Can you suggest how they can maintain the cost effectiveness? And in align to the same question, there is one more question from the Basiha, that what is the best way to pricing your product? So I think both the questions are very similar to that. Maybe Sonali also can add, but I would like to hear from the Shishir that what way the Heliot product you are trying to put the pricing for the farmers, because it's quite difficult to get the money from the farmers' pocket. So what was your strategy and what is your suggestions to these questions asked by both the startup or the participants and everyone?
Right. Thank you. Thank you, Amiji. So before I delve into the question, I just want to add to what Sonali ma'am was saying and also what you were saying, the role of incubators. I mean, the incubators have evolved over the last few years, especially. And our personal experience is, okay, funding and grant money is one side, but beyond that, the incubators have a lot of knowledge, know-how, people who are experts. And they have also laboratory spaces that a startup, especially early stage startup, can make very good effective usage of. So try and pick a very good incubator, especially that is associated with a organization such as Manage or IITs or one of those incubators that have some very good reputation in the background. So I think they will provide a lot of leverage for you when you're in the starting phase. Coming to the question about cost effectiveness, I mean, this is a very relevant question which we have ourselves noticed. What we decided is when we started on Heliot, it takes some time for your product to reach commercial profits or commercial level benefits back to you. So in the initial stage, I would say try and not look too much into how much margin and how much profit I am going to get out of my product in the beginning stage. As you evolve, if the product is successful, you have a lot of options. you can price your product low, add a little bit of subscription on it. The great thing about subscription is it is a recurring thing. As long as your user is using the product, he will end up paying you for the subscription. So those are things that you can keep in mind. And it is a very challenging environment, selling a product directly to the farmer and trying to get money out of the farmer. But if they see value proposition, if you are addressing their pain points, they will definitely pay. But you also have to look what is on the market that you are competing with, what is on the other market. So if somebody is selling even similar product for 5,000 rupees, and if you want to sell it for 10,000 rupees, you have to have a very good business case. So yeah, those are some of the learnings we have faced in our own journey. Hopefully some of them are relevant also for you.
So I
Yeah,
think just to
Sonali
add
ma'am.
on, I think you should also focus on developing a tailored solution for their need, right? And offer them a flexible pricing model, because it's a hard-earned money for them as well. And if you will be flexible in your pricing model, it will be easy for you to like convert them, and also showcase the success stories. If you have some success stories from some other farmers, right, showcase those success stories, and be ready to provide training and support all the time, right, because that is very, very important, because they will become your brand ambassador. And also try to demonstrate the return on investment, right, what the money which they are putting, for each penny, what is the return on investment. And always be transparent and ethical during your initial stage. That is very, very important. So where you have to maintain the transparency in your pricing, in your policy, in your practices, and ensure that your interaction with the small farmers are ethical, respectful, and aligned with their basic interests.
Yeah, I think it's a really wonderful message at the end. Both the speakers are actually given. So Shishir was mentioning about always look into your competitors, try to give more the in terms of value proposition, in terms of features with a competitive price. The farmers are ready to pay for you. And Sonil ma'am, you rightly mentioned that create a success story. Tell to the farmers that what kind of benefit farmers are getting from your product, maybe or farmers or maybe any customers. Try to give the return on investment, whatever money I'm spending, I'm giving for purchasing the product, how much he get the return on that. Try to highlight that. And again, I'm mentioning that point, the competitors, yeah, try to give the best whatever the farmers are paying. So I think this is a really very important message from this session, I must say. So as time is already there, but before that, I would request to all the participants kindly provide the feedback of the today's webinar, how you feel about it, and if you have any queries also you can put in the chat box or maybe in the feedback, and you can suggest us always. The speaker details also we already share in the chat box, so you can always connect with them, and the PPTs also we are going to share with all the participants. And one more announcement, very exciting announcement for all the participants, that those startups who are at ideation stage and especially the students, there are two programs that we are launched, and that is the Agri-Eureka, where you can come and you can present your ideas. So you will get the incubation support at Manage, so that your ideas can be converted into the MVP stage or maybe to the further scale up stage. And very soon in this coming week, we are going to launch our cohort 10, where you will get the funding of 5 lakhs to 25 lakh rupees for your startups. And specially addition for this year, 4 students will get the 4 lakh rupees each to convert their ideas into the prototype stage, and you can start your own business. So keep looking our social media pages, along with that our social media on the websites, so where our regular updates are coming for you all. So with this announcement, I would like to say thank you, Sonali and Shishir, for really a wonderful session, and my team for organizing this webinar. Thanks once again all.
Thank you. Best wishes. Thanks.
Thank you.